Have you ever wondered why, even when we achieve everything we thought would bring happiness, we still feel like something is missing? The dream house, the new car, an apparently perfect life. And yet, a sense of emptiness remains. Sound familiar? This happens because often we try to fill what is spiritual with material things. And that equation never adds up. We live in a world that pushes us to run, produce, and consume, and in the midst of this rush, we lose the most important connection of all. The connection with ourselves and with something greater than the material side of life. It's as if we are always searching for something outside, forgetting to look within. And it is exactly here that spirituality enters our lives as the ultimate solution. Spirituality is not about religion or following imposed rules. It's about finding meaning in the midst of chaos, discovering peace when everything seems to be falling apart, and most importantly, reconnecting with your essence. It is a way to stop, breathe, and finally listen to that inner voice that has always been there but has been drowned out by the noise of the world. Maybe you're tired of feeling like life is just a sequence of repetitive days with no real purpose or meaning. Or perhaps you're going through a moment of pain, doubt, or loss and are searching for an answer that never seems to come. If this resonates with you, spirituality may be the missing path to help you understand the why and the what for behind everything that happens. In this video, we're going to talk about the true purpose of spirituality and how it can transform the way you see life and face daily challenges. You will learn how to find balance, peace, and clarity, even in the most difficult moments. So, stay with me until the end because this reflection might just be the first step toward the change you so deeply need. Many people confuse spirituality with something distant or inaccessible, as if it requires strict rules or isolating yourself from the world to achieve it. But in truth, spirituality is present in the simplest things. In the silence of a sunrise, in a sincere prayer, in a moment of gratitude, or even in an act of compassion. It is like a flame that has always been inside you, waiting to be rekindled. So, if you feel lost, disconnected, or even hopeless, let's reflect on the real purpose of spirituality and how it can bring you the balance you've been searching for. It doesn't matter where you are now or what challenges you face. Spirituality can be the guiding thread that leads you to a lighter life, filled with meaning and true peace. Spirituality, when lived authentically, has the power to transform our lives from the roots. It's not just a beautiful concept or something we leave for later. It's a call to see life through new eyes. When you begin to walk a spiritual path, what once seemed confusing, chaotic, or even meaningless starts to take shape. The pieces of the puzzle finally begin to fit together. Have you ever felt that, despite having everything you wanted, there was still an emptiness inside you? That feeling is a sign that something important has been left behind. Your spiritual connection. Spirituality enters that empty space like a light at the end of the tunnel. It fills the gaps with a real purpose, bringing peace, clarity, and most importantly, a deep sense of direction. Life ceases to be just a sequence of events and transforms into a journey with meaning. One of the greatest transformations that spirituality brings is a change in perspective. When you begin to see life through a spiritual lens, problems stop being unbearable burdens and become opportunities for growth. The pain, losses, and challenges don't disappear, but you learn to deal with them more wisely. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Spirituality also transforms the way you relate to people. Many times we get lost in conflicts, hurt feelings, or frustrated expectations, but spirituality teaches us to see others with compassion. When you develop this more loving perspective, you realize that people, just like you, are searching for something greater. This understanding dissolves the barriers of the ego and creates space for more genuine and healthier relationships. Another powerful transformation that spirituality offers is the ability to find peace in the midst of chaos. The world around us can be turbulent, full of uncertainties and difficulties, But when we cultivate spirituality, we find within ourselves a safe place where nothing can shake us. It's like standing at the center of a storm and yet feeling calm in your heart. This peace does not depend on external circumstances because it comes from an internal, inexhaustible, and powerful source. Spirituality also reconnects us with something we easily lose: the ability to live in the present. Often we are stuck in the past, dwelling on what we cannot change, or anxious about the future, trying to control what has not yet happened. Spirituality brings us back to the now, to the moment where life truly happens. It is in the present that we find joy, gratitude, and clarity. And these three things have the power to transform any life. Furthermore, spirituality frees us from the invisible chains of fear. Fear of the unknown, of scarcity, of failure, or of loneliness. When you develop a deep spiritual connection, you learn to trust the flow of life. You realize that, even when you don't understand what is happening, there is a greater force guiding your steps. This trust dissolves fear and makes room for courage, for faith, and for the certainty that everything is unfolding as it should. Spirituality has the power to transform the relationship you have with yourself. It teaches you that you are more than your mistakes, your limitations, or your pain. You are a soul in constant evolution, with unquestionable value. When you begin to see yourself this way, self-criticism diminishes, self-love grows, and you start to treat yourself with more respect and kindness. It's like rediscovering the person you've always been but, for some reason, stopped recognizing. Spirituality is a deep topic but also simple to understand. It is not limited to a specific religion, nor does it require you to follow rules imposed by someone else. Spirituality is the search for meaning, for a greater connection, whether with the divine, with the universe, or with your own inner self. It is the awakening of consciousness to something beyond the material world, a path that leads us to look within and discover who we truly are. When we talk about spirituality, many people immediately think of temples, rituals, or dogmas. But the truth is that spirituality can manifest in many ways. For some, it is found in prayer. For others, in meditation, in contact with nature, or simply in the silence of a moment with themselves. Spirituality is about presence, surrender, and recognizing that there is something beyond what our eyes can see. And why does this matter? Because without this spiritual connection, we feel empty, even when everything seems fine on the outside. Imagine a tree that looks healthy but whose roots are not firmly planted in the ground. Over time, any wind can knock it down. This is how life feels when we do not strengthen our spiritual roots. We may achieve things, but something is missing to sustain us during difficult times. For this reason, spirituality is more than a belief. It is a daily practice of reconnecting with what is truest within us. It gives us clarity to understand our challenges, strength to overcome them, and serenity to accept what cannot be changed. Instead of simply reacting to life, we begin to see that there is a purpose in everything that happens. Another important point is that spirituality brings a sense of belonging. Many times we feel alone in our struggles and pain. But spirituality reveals to us that we are part of something much more powerful. It's as if life is whispering, "You are not alone. There is a path. There is a reason for all of this." Moreover, spirituality allows us to live in the present moment. How many times have you gotten lost in worries about the future or spent your time dwelling on the past? This disconnection from the now is what prevents us from finding peace. Spirituality teaches us that the only moment we truly have is this one, and it is in this moment that we can find answers, healing, and transformation. Understanding spirituality means realizing that it is not an escape from reality, but rather a path back to your essence. It is about finding balance in the midst of chaos, seeing light even in the darkness, and remembering every day that there is a purpose for your life. And when you recognize this, everything begins to make sense. The true purpose of spirituality goes far beyond beautiful words or fleeting moments of peace. It exists to completely transform your life, helping you find meaning in the most difficult situations and harmony in a chaotic world. When we understand the goal of spirituality, we begin to see that it is not something external but rather a part of who we are, a part that we often ignore or forget. The first great purpose of spirituality is self-knowledge. Many times, we live on autopilot, repeating the same patterns without understanding why we make certain decisions or feel certain emotions. Spirituality makes you look inward, ask the right questions, and listen to the answers that come from your heart. When you know yourself, you can make more conscious decisions, respect your limits, and live a life more aligned with your values. Another fundamental goal is to bring inner peace. The world can be noisy, full of demands and expectations that leave us exhausted. Spirituality teaches us to silence this noise and find a space of calm and serenity within us. It is like finding a safe refuge where the chaos outside has no power over you. This peace does not mean the absence of problems, but rather the ability to face them with wisdom and balance. Spirituality also serves to reconnect us with a divine force. Regardless of what you call this force, God, the universe, energy, this connection brings a deep sense of belonging. You realize that you are not alone, that you are part of something grand, and that there is meaning in everything. This brings hope during challenging moments and a sense of security in the face of the unknown. Another important purpose is the development of compassion and love. Spirituality teaches us to see others with more empathy, to forgive, and to understand that we are all on a journey of growth. When you develop compassion, both for yourself and for others, your life becomes lighter, relationships become healthier, and the weight of judgment and anger disappears. Furthermore, spirituality helps to give meaning to suffering. How many times have you gone through moments of pain and questioned why it was all happening? Spirituality does not erase the pain but gives us a new perspective. It shows us that even challenges have a purpose. Often, it is in the greatest difficulties that we find the most valuable lessons and become stronger and wiser people. Another essential point is that we spend so much time stuck in the past or anxious about the future that we forget to live and appreciate what is happening now in our lives. Spirituality invites us to embrace each moment with presence, gratitude, and awareness. After all, it is in the present moment that life truly happens. The deepest purpose of spirituality is to help us remember who we truly are, beyond the roles we play in our daily lives. You are not just your job, your achievements, or your problems. There is something more important within you, something that is never lost, even when everything seems to collapse. Spirituality is the path that reconnects us with this truth, bringing clarity, strength, and peace to move forward. In addition to guiding us inward, spirituality also helps us see life as a continuous process of evolution. It teaches us that every experience, whether good or bad, brings valuable lessons. When we start looking at challenges with this perspective, we stop feeling like victims of circumstances and begin to see opportunities for growth. This transformative outlook changes the way we face life, bringing resilience and the courage to move forward. Finally, spirituality gives us something that the modern world, with all its rush, cannot offer: a true sense of purpose. When we find this spiritual connection, we understand that life is not just a sequence of meaningless days. Every moment, every person, and every experience has a reason to be there. It is as if a veil falls, revealing a new way of living, with more peace, more love, and more meaning. And it is in this discovery that we find true inner freedom. Furthermore, spirituality teaches us to accept what we cannot control. Often, we waste our energy trying to change situations or people, but we forget that the true power lies in changing how we respond to them. Spirituality gives us the wisdom to distinguish what we can change and the serenity to accept what is beyond our reach. It is in this acceptance that we find lightness and the freedom to move forward. Finally, spirituality invites us to live with gratitude. When we look at life through spiritual eyes, we realize that even the smallest things like a hug, a smile, or simply being alive are precious gifts. Gratitude transforms the way we see the world, dissolves dissatisfaction, and brings us closer to true happiness. After all, it is when we value what we have now that we create space to receive even more. Now that you understand what spirituality is and what its true purpose is, the question arises: how can you bring this spiritual connection into your daily life? Spirituality does not need to be something distant or complex. On the contrary, it can be lived in a simple and practical way, through small actions that, combined, can transform the way you think, feel, and act. 1. Set aside a moment of silence daily. Silence is powerful because it is in silence that we can hear what our soul truly wants to say. Take a few minutes each day to be quiet, away from the distractions of the world. It can be in the morning before starting your day, or at night before sleeping. Use this time to reflect, meditate, or simply breathe deeply. This small habit helps calm the mind and create space for inner peace. 2. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most transformative spiritual practices. Start recognizing and giving thanks for the small things in your day. Your health, your food, a good conversation, or simply being alive. Writing these gratitudes in a notebook can be a great daily practice. When you focus on what you have instead of what is missing, your heart fills with peace and abundance. 3. Meditate or pray with intention. Meditation and prayer are powerful spiritual tools. Meditation brings you into the present moment and calms the mind, while prayer strengthens your connection with the divine. It doesn't matter how you prefer to connect. The important thing is to do it with intention, opening your heart and trusting that you are being heard. 4. Connect with nature. Nature is a living temple, where spirituality manifests in its purest form. Walk outdoors, feel the sun on your face, listen to the sounds of nature, and touch the ground with your feet. This connection reminds us that we are part of everything around us and reconnects us with life's vital energy. Moments like these bring clarity, renewal, and peace. 5. Cultivate self-knowledge. Spirituality is an invitation to look inward. Take time to reflect on your emotions, your attitudes, and the patterns that repeat themselves in your life. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What can I learn from this? By developing self-knowledge, you uncover answers that were hidden and start living with greater awareness. 6. Live with presence. Being present means living in the here and now, instead of getting lost in thoughts about the past or worries about the future. Practice mindfulness in your daily activities. Whether eating, talking to someone, or doing something simple like taking a shower, by focusing on the present, you create a more meaningful connection with life. 7. Practice forgiveness. Holding on to grudges and resentment blocks your inner peace. Spirituality motivates us to forgive, not to justify what happened, but to release the weight we carry inside us. Forgiveness is an act of self-love that brings healing to the soul and makes room for new positive experiences. Serve others with love. Helping others is one of the highest forms of practicing spirituality. When you extend a hand to someone, whether through advice, a prayer, or a simple act of kindness, you connect with the energy of love. This act not only helps the other person but also strengthens your own spiritual connection. 9. Cultivate moments of reflection. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to reflect on your experiences. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did spirituality guide my decisions? This practice helps you see your progress and recognize the presence of spirituality in your life. 10. Trust the process. Finally, spirituality teaches us to trust that everything happens at the right time. Even in difficult moments, trust that there is a purpose behind each experience. Learn to surrender your worries and fears to this greater force, knowing that you are being guided on the right path. Spirituality is not an escape, nor a refuge to avoid life's challenges. On the contrary, it encourages us to look at everything we experience with greater depth, courage, and wisdom. It is through spirituality that we learn to find meaning in each experience, in moments of joy, in victories, and, most importantly, in the challenges that shape us. It gives us the tools to face life head-on, with an open heart and a serene mind, always seeking growth and learning in every situation. When you understand and live spirituality, what once seemed meaningless gains a purpose. You realize that even difficulties bring something valuable: growth, clarity, and inner strength. Spirituality does not remove the obstacles on your path but transforms the way you face them. It helps you see that each step, no matter how difficult it may seem, is necessary to lead you to your destination. Life, with all its ups and downs, becomes a sacred journey where every detail matters and contributes to your evolution. So, remember, spirituality is not about withdrawing from the world but about living in it with more awareness and purpose. It is the key that opens the doors to understanding, love, and inner peace. When you find this spiritual balance, everything changes. The way you see problems, how you relate to people, and how you see yourself. Life takes on a new meaning, lighter and deeper. And from this point on, you finally understand that the true purpose lies in living each moment with presence, gratitude, and faith. I hope you enjoyed the video. Share it with others so they can also benefit from this message. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to receive our new content about spirituality and self-knowledge. May God bless your life. See you soon.